The left bares its teeth once again, showing their inclusive and accepting nature doesn't venture past those that share their own narrow worldview. All of their protests for transgender rights, personal pronouns, unlimited immigration, Palestine, gun control, and global warming were merely drops of water in a pond. Donald Trump is the real fight, the culmination of everything they have fought for, and they mean to win or go down fighting. To the left, Trump's inauguration symbolizes everything they detest about what they term the far right. They see his presidency as the ultimate threat, all of their individual battles lost with the election of this one man. These are adults stuck in an adolescent phase of constant temper tantrums highlighted by their incessant squeals of self-important blatherings. These childlike adults with their whining cries of injustice that are on a perpetual loop. Cries that are hurled from the sanctity of their privileged, entitled lives. They remind me of a petulant child sticking his tongue out at a stranger while hiding behind mummy's skirts. Adversity breeds men and prosperity breeds monsters. Welcome to the generation of monsters. They call themselves progressives, but they are regressive in nature, attempting to accelerate the erosion of our society and bring about their Marxist utopia. This is a generation that isn't used to losing, and it isn't going to give up this election without attempting an all-out war. This is why the threat level for the inauguration of Donald Trump is so high. They will not concede defeat. These are groups of left-wing agitators, and they are planning to descend upon Washington during the inauguration. At least 36 anti-inauguration protests are scheduled across America, and billionaire and war criminal George Soros has been caught funding such protests, which tend to turn into riots. Activists are planning to turn Trump's inauguration into one of the biggest riots in U.S. history, and liberals in D.C. are promoting it. Copious numbers of tweeters are threatening that Inauguration Day will be a murderous bloodbath like the Purge. Some liberals are actually calling for martial law to stop Donald Trump's inauguration. Then we have this, Obama firing the head of the D.C. National Guard at 12:01 p.m. on Inauguration Day, with no explanation given. That alone should give people pause for thought. Now here's a list of some of the protests that are scheduled to take place. Of course, we have Disrupt J20, with a week of scheduled demonstrations, including an LGBT dance party outside Mike Pence's home. Disrupt 20 calls itself the D.C. Counter-Inaugural Welcoming Committee and promises a very left-wing week of resistance. Disrupt J20 states, "We're planning a series of massive, direct actions that will shut down the inauguration ceremonies and any related celebrations. The inaugural parade, the inaugural balls, you name it." Disrupt J20 declares on its website, adding, "We're also planning to paralyze the city itself using blockades and marches to stop traffic and even public transit. And hey, because we like fun, we're even going to throw in some parties." Organizers are planning early morning blockade actions on January 20, built around such banners as racial justice, trade justice, climate justice, economic justice, communities under attack, labor direct action, and anti-war and Palestine. Some are calling for blockades at the checkpoints around the parade route in hopes that Trump will ride into office in front of silent empty bleachers. Others are preparing to rove the city, supporting and defending other protesters and responding to situations as they arise. George Soros is a major funder of Alliance for Global Justice, a radical left-wing group that collected donations on behalf of Occupy Wall Street. Now, Alliance for Global Justice is functioning as a fiscal sponsor for a group called Refuse Fascism that is heavily involved in the Disrupt J20 effort. Organizers also offer a legal guide for protesters who encounter the police, including advice for protesters who are placed under arrest. Participants may join climate convergent workshops and have the opportunity to stand in solidarity with others working for migrant rights, racial justice, LGBT rights, and more. Such different movements and organizations need to stand as one, according to Disrupt J20 organizers, because this way they can form a more potent force to stop the rollback of progress under the incoming Trump administration. Disrupt J20's call to action warns against the advent of a security state under Trump, and they state, "Trump stands for tyranny, greed, and misogyny. He is the champion of neo-Nazis and white nationalists, of the police who kill the black, brown, and poor people on a daily basis, of racist border agents and sadistic prison guards, of the FBI and NSA who tap your phone and read your email. He is the harbinger of even more climate catastrophe, deportation, discrimination, and endless war. He continues to deny the existence of climate change in spite of all the evidence, putting the future of the whole human race at stake." Next we have hashtag Inaugurate the Resistance. Just a few blocks away, the Answer, which stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism coalition, will host a massive protest on Inauguration Day at Freedom Plaza. Inaugurate the Resistance is calling for a political revolution, fighting against war, militarism, racism, anti-immigrant rhetoric, and for workers' rights. More than 11,000 people marked themselves on Facebook as attending. We have the Rise Above conference from the 21st to the 22nd. That's lawyers concerned about how Trump's policies might violate the Constitution are demonstrating in the most lawyerly way possible by holding a conference in D.C. over Inauguration weekend. And the big one, Women's March on Washington on the 21st. This is the biggest protest, and it will take place on Saturday with at least 200,000 people expected to attend. Official partners of the march include the Natural Resources Defense Council and, of course, Planned Parenthood and the ACLU, or American Civil Liberties Union. Gloria Steinem and Harry Belafonte are serving as honorary co-chairs. In addition, pro-abortion celebrities such as Katy Perry and Cher have lined up to attend. So those are a few of the protests scheduled. But what about those who want to see a nonviolent swearing-in of the 45th president? Bikers for Trump enter stage left. The cavalry is coming, and the left may have met their match. You see, college campuses with their safe spaces and teddy bears, their quivering professors and faculty, didn't prepare them for 5,000 toughened bikers who live in the real world and aren't afraid to show these special snowflakes exactly what the real world is like. Or as I like to say, snowflakes meet flamethrower. Thousands of bikers from the Bikers for Trump Motorcycle Club are planning to come to Washington, D.C. for Trump's inauguration in support of the president-elect. Chris Cox organized a rally for his group of more than 5,000 Bikers for Trump that will include musical performances and speakers. But he also said they will stand up to dangerous protesters. In the event that we are needed, we will form a wall of meat, he told Fox and Friends. We'll be shoulder to shoulder with our brothers, and we'll be toe to toe with anyone who's going to break through police barriers. Cox said the group is non-violent, and the bikers will only step in if protesters become violent, quote, assaulting women, spitting on them, and throwing things at them. He started Bikers for Trump in 2015, and the group has grown to about 200,000 members. Remember in June of last year when bikers headed to a Donald Trump rally in Phoenix to keep Trump supporters safe from the anti-Trump leftists? You see, they saw the violence that happened in San Jose, and they had had enough of the outbursts from Hillary Clinton supporters. In rides the cavalry once again. Bikers for Trump see a possible conflict and want to be there just in case. Then there's this. Washington Post has stated that 5,000 National Guard troops will be deployed for Trump's swearing in, as well as 1,000 Marines and 3,000 security officers from multiple jurisdictions and the entire police force from D.C. That's roughly 10,000 military and law enforcement officers for one inauguration. There is also another much more dangerous threat. Let us not forget that the Islamic State has declared the day Donald Trump is inaugurated as U.S. President Bloody Friday, as the group fears a brutal backlash from the new regime. So what do you think? Is this little more than empty threats from the left who can't accept defeat and are now spewing their hate-filled rhetoric? Are they planning a day of nothing more than ineffectual protests? Or is there something more sinister going on here? Do you think the left is going to do all they can to disrupt the ceremony and make it an anti-inauguration? Or do you think they are blowing a lot of hot air? If it comes to a battle of brawn, I am pretty confident who will be the victor. Of course, the lefties will be the ones screaming for police protection first. You know, the police whose death they constantly scream for. I pray the inauguration goes off without a hitch. I hope it is uneventful and the 45th president is sworn in and life goes on. I hope the bikers enjoy their music and festivities and nothing much happens. However, in the event that these agitators go rogue, I, for one, will be happy that the bikers are there. This is Infidel L for NTDWI. Thank you for watching and stay safe. If you want to be apprised of terror attacks as they occur around the globe, please subscribe to my channel.